morning, 4:48 now, and happening today in North Haven. Voters heading back to the polls to decide the fate of a revised town budget after the original proposal was rejected last month. Now, the new proposal cuts more than $2.5 million, including reductions to the school budget. Your reporter Sierra Jordan live now with what residents need to know. Sierra, what's going on?
Good morning, Caitlin. Polls open in just a couple of hours here at the Recreation Center, and one of the biggest changes involves the school district, where 28 positions have been eliminated as part of the budget process. After the referendum failed last month, the Board of Finance reduced the Board of Education's proposed budget by nearly $1.75 million. According to CT Insider, the 28 eliminated positions include 4 new roles that had been proposed for the upcoming school year. Those 4 positions were special education roles that were removed before any hiring took place. And voters have all day to weigh in. Polls open at 6 a.m. and they will close at 8 tonight. Your reporter live in North Haven, Sierra Jordan, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.